Welcome, good evening, everybody, here in another session that is going to be on the same, but not the same content always, the All India Live Mock discussion, in which we'll be discussing this week's live mock, which had, to be honest, pretty interesting questions. I would say quite relevant for your examination. Would say a step ahead for sure, but that's how we practice better and score in a difficult paper also. If the examinations are moderate or easy, we can score much more in a better position. But what if the examinations are difficult? We have to stay ahead of the competition. Everybody prepares for the easy ones, but not everyone is ready for the difficult ones. We have to stay ahead of the competition. Okay, starting this now in seconds, just a sec. Just a sec. Let's go ahead. Welcome all of you here. Welcome Radhika, Isha, Wrinkle, Kajal, people who are live here. Ankita, Muskan, Radhe Radhe, Manjula, Kalpana, Pradeep, Vaishali, Kamal, Desail, Rahul, Komesh, Sandhya, Ishwanti, Sheetal, Yagesh, Gaming Master, Lakshmi, Shivani, welcome from my side. I tried to fix the car myself, but that was just a drop in the ocean. You can, with the help of common sense, relate to this idiom. If there's a drop in the ocean, that is not going to be a significant amount of anything. A drop in the ocean, negligible amount. Huge achievement, the opposite of this. Rewarding experience, the opposite of this. Maybe a difficult challenge, but here we are talking about the amount. A small and insignificant effort. The branch of science, I came across a couple of words new in this one. Radhe Radhe, good evening, everyone. I came across a couple of new words in this. A branch of science concerned with the origin, structure, and composition of rocks. I do know rocks petrology, but I was honestly not aware of this cytology and not sure about this anthology. Demagogue, I have marked in classes several times. Demos, people, Gog, Agogo's leader, so the one who should be the leader of the people but is not. Those politicians who spread hate speech, those politicians who stir the masses and such. So demagogue is not the study or science concerned with that, out of context. Cytology, anthology are quite new to me, to be honest. Petrology of rocks. Let's go through the meaning of these ones. Where's the description? Yep. So petrology of rocks, for sure, demagogue who makes use of popular prejudice, false claims, promises in order to gain power that way. Anthology, a published collection of poems or other pieces of writing. In just one or at just one glance, we can't mug it up. Do remember, I request you to, I will remember this. Anthology, published collection of poems and other pieces of writing, and cytology, the branches of biology and medicine concerned with the structure and function of plants and animal cells. So that's how cytology and anthology, these are the new ones. Moving ahead, working together is more effective than working alone. You have to mark an idiom for this. A rolling stone gathers no mass, most we can say. A person who changes jobs, changes relations, changes things, won't be able to be stable, won't be gaining anything, getting anything in his life because he's frequently changing in a negative cause. But the idiom is a positive one. No, the pen is mightier than a sword. You may have a sword, but what the Supreme Court writes is way mightier than that. So this is talking about the influence of power in terms of being educated, I can say. You can't judge a book by its cover. We should not judge people just by their looks or anything such. We shouldn't have that prejudice opinion. Yes, many hands make light work, or many hands make work light, easy, that way. Objections welcome if anybody of you has. Imran, good evening, welcome. Hey dear. I think it is working all smooth. Yes, it is. The principal said to the students, Jawaharlal Nehru gave the objectives resolution, which was unanimously accepted by the Constituent Assembly. I took a deep breath while answering this because I'm not sure what the answer is supposed to be. In my opinion, that's a general truth. Gandhiji fought for the freedom of the nation. This is not a point of action in the past which can be transformed into past perfect. That's a general truth. No, Nancy. No, that's what I'm explaining before answering. That's a general truth. No, we will commit such mistakes out there. If I say, hold on a sec, Yagesh, better. If I say the principal said to the students, the teacher said to the students, Gandhiji was, past indefinite, born in 1869, 2nd of October. Will you transform this in past perfect tense? Gandhiji had been born in 2000, I'm sorry, in 1869 and such. No, that's a fact. That's a figure. That's statistics must not be changed. So I honestly answered B because I shouldn't change this. He gave the objectives. He gave the objectives, which was unanimously accepted, no change. And the answer was no change. Better. If the answer had been something such, I could have been silent like I was. There was a question on the last one also. No problem. Better. Synonym of the word help. The tools may be negative, positive, can't show help, is designed to assist. Yes, the meaning of assist is to help. Assistant, to help us. Assistance, help we can say in terms of noun. Need not check the others. Organize, no. Efficient, nope. So that was an RC, a good one. RCs were good. Mock tests now are better than before, and that's good for us to infer, not to directly answer those RCs and such. The whole test, if I say. The Renaissance, which spanned through, say, from 14th to 17th century, was a period of cultural transformation, and that reshaped Europe and influenced the course of world history. Marked a rebirth of interest in the classical art, philosophy, knowledge of ancient Greece and Rome, blending all these ideas with the evolving realities of the time. This era, often seen as a bridge between Middle Ages and the modern world, brought about dramatic shifts in the intellectual, artistic, and social domains. One of the most striking aspects of Renaissance was its emphasis on humanism, a philosophical and intellectual movement that celebrated human potential and achievements. Humanists turned to classical texts, rediscovering the works of ancient philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, applied their ideas to contemporary life. Focus on individualism and human experience led to advances in fields like literature, science, and education. Figures like Petrarch, I think, Erasmus, Thomas More laid the groundwork for modern human thought. That's the general one, so we can't forget what line was marked after which one. In art, Renaissance saw the flourishing of realistic, naturalistic styles, with artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael producing masterpieces, my pronunciation may go wrong, please, that captured the beauty and complexity of the human form. Techniques like linear perspective, which created a sense of depth on a flat surface, revolutionized visual representation. The period also saw the rise of secular themes alongside traditional religious subjects, reflecting a shift in societal values. Renaissance also had profound impact on science and exploration. It had impact, I think, on every single topic: science, exploration, art, this. Thinkers like Copernicus, Galileo, and Vesalius changed medieval views of the universe, leading to groundbreaking discoveries that would eventually form the foundation of modern science. Meanwhile, explorers like Columbus and Vasco da Gama expanded European horizons, opening new routes for trade and cultural exchange. Yes, Mona Lisa by Leonardo, back in 14th century, I think, huh? So which of the following defines the general shift in themes seen in the Renaissance art? I may answer anything, not sure about the answer. In SSC, we have almost the straight line based RCs. I also teach for RBI grade B. I'm not showing off and pretending here. But there we don't have the straight answers written in the passage. We have to infer them. So sometimes I infer, proves costly for me. Sometimes. Not in this RC, but in the next one. Okay, I'll be looking for the line straight if it is marked out there. Which of the following defines the general shift in themes seen in the Renaissance art? Okay, something such is marked out here. Theme, the general one. The period also saw the rise of secular themes along with the traditional religious subjects, reflecting some shift in the societal values. So it had secular themes along with traditional religious subjects. That means religious as well as secular, non-religious, that was there. Focus on religious, no. Along with that, inclusion of non-religious, that means secular, and the rise of secular themes, that means the inclusion of non-religious subjects alongside the sacred ones, the secular ones, the religious ones, I'm sorry, and that was the shift. And of course, that was the shift. Yagesh, yep. Next, straight RCs are difficult to find. Inference based, in my opinion, are easy. You have to eliminate options accordingly. Which person did what or helped in what? Columbus. Where is Columbus? Meanwhile, explorers like Columbus expanded horizons, opening new routes for trade and cultural exchange. I can link Columbus with cultural exchange. The only option here, A3, A2, A1, A2, A3 is this. I shouldn't be clicking this, to be honest. Here I can, the only option left, but in examinations I may be mistaken. Let's confirm this once more. It says B2 now. Pick another one. Michelangelo, for example. Here, Leonardo, yes, we have artists like they masterpieces that captured the beauty and complexity of the human form. So they were the artists. Artists like Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael, we can say. That was the artist. So that should be B2. And of course, that is B2. Now I will click D for sure. Doubts welcome. Select the most appropriate synonym for the following word. Striking. When you strike a balance, that's an idiom also. That means it is appealing. That means it is impacting, affecting, and that way. Effect is also a verb. Don't take me wrong. Feeble is going to be weak. Indecisive, not able to decide. How can that be striking? Futile is going to be of no result. These are the negative words. The only word here is going to be arresting. And yes, we arrest, capture one's attention, that is to strike, capture one's attention. The only positive word, or a word with some impact in the options. So that has to be the answer. And the last one. So the main focus of the passage, that was a little difficult to answer. The exploration and colonization of new lands. No, they're not talking about lands and the colonization of lands. They are not Britishers. Cultural, intellectual changes that defined the Renaissance. Yes, we have the cultural changes here. Cultural transformation, not the word, but throughout the passage, we've been talking about that. Whether in terms of art or any other evolution. So I can think of this. What about the others? Rise of religious movements during the Renaissance? No, we have answered. It didn't have only religious movements or subjects. It had secular themes also along with religious. So C cannot be the answer. Technological innovations? No, they haven't marked any technological innovation. Yep. Cultural, intellectual changes that defined the Renaissance. A good RC. I praise this, to be honest. The company's procrastination we discuss on a daily basis. Perseverance. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Procrastinate. Delay. But we are asked the antonym, not the synonym. If they had asked the synonym, A should have been the answer. Now, this is delay, and the opposite of which is expedite, to speed up. So that is the answer. Need not look at the others. Still for slight confirmation. Hesitate? No, that is also procrastinate. Postpone is procrastinate. So short. The company's growth was blank space by a proper strategic marketing plan. The theme of the sentence is positive. The company's growth was blank space by a proper strategic marketing plan. So a positive word should be there. Influenced. Yep, it can be. Reacting. That's active voice. How can the company's growth react? The growth is reacting. The growth was reacting. Should have been reacted. No, grammatically not possible. Speaking. How can growth speak? A grammatically wrong one. Downsized is the negative option here. I just have one positive word and grammatically correct also. I took just 9 seconds to answer this because I think the only choice over there. Blank space manager, Yashwanti. Some people have written these words, the homonyms, the paronyms and such today, and they've been writing this for last 5 days, and you can see one more here. Komesh, a blank space manager, okay, that may be a good manager, that may be a bad manager, shows respect to everybody they encounter. That means the tone is positive again. He shows respect to everyone he meets. Need not think about the others. Fair, but that's the amount of money the government charges. Fair. No, fair. A good manager, a fair manager. Fine. Fear? No. Fear as a verb is also to go from one place to other place, just like we go in a train and such, on a train also. So yes, I think a fair manager, he can't be biased, he's fair, he'll be greeting everyone he meets, not just a specific zone of people. She was scrappy, that was a good one. That was a very, very, very good filler. One of a kind, if I say. Feel this. What is your answer if I ask you live? Those who have, yes, Komesh, thank you, brother, for the attention and for the presence. What about your answer? If you haven't answered this in the mock, what do you answer now? She was scrappy yet willing to please, feminist yet feminine. Wow, whoever being the writer, this is so amazing. Feminist yet feminine. It's not feminine in pronunciation, that's feminine. Avijit, great. Full of rage yet this. Articulate yet not dogmatic. Feminine, I'm sorry. Can you see? They have contrast. Scrappy yet willing to please. Feminist, believing in equal opportunities for women and men. Equal yet feminine. No, I'm being feminine. Preferring females. So she was a, he was a, whoever he, she was, a feminist yet feminine. Articulate, not dogmatic. Full of rage. So you have to mark the opposite of full of rage. The full of rage means angry. And the opposite of angry is going to be distant. No, it shows distance. Agitated, that's the synonym, cannot be the answer. Exasperated, that's also the synonym, to be very angry and such. Friendly, the only. Nitish, absolutely dear, absolutely. I could blank space, we have also discussed these in the morning. Yes, Sandeep. I couldn't blank space to walk on the hot sand with my, the first thing I keep on saying in my classes, we say barefoot, independent of that. I keep on mentioning when I teach the verbs advanced, bare infinitives, barefoot. So here we should have bare, B-A-R-E, and I have just one option with the same word. Can I justify this? I couldn't bear, yes, I couldn't resist, I couldn't tolerate. Perfect. C must be the answer. The others can't mean anything. Bear, all fine. Not the polar bears we are talking about here. And yes, not the polar bears and such. Another RC. I got a couple wrong in this. No, not in this one, I think. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom. A good RC. Yes, I have taught this in last 3 to 4 days. That's why I keep on praising the words and the content. They are so meaningful. Bare minimum, Pradeep, thank you. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom. King had only one leg, one eye. He was quite intelligent and kind. Everyone lived happily in his kingdom and a healthy life because of the king. One day he was walking through the palace hallway and saw the portraits of the ancestors. He thought one day his children will walk in the same hallway and remember all the ancestors through these portraits. But the king didn't have his portrait painted. due to his physical disabilities. He wasn't sure how it will turn out. So he invited many famous painters. The king announced he wants a beautiful portrait, and whoever does this should come forward. He'll be rewarded. All the painters begin to think the king only has one leg, one eye. How can we picture him and make him beautiful? Not possible. If the picture turns out bad, he can get angry and punish us. So one by one, they started making excuses and politely declined to make a painting of the king. But suddenly one painter raised his hand and said, I'll make a beautiful picture of you. The king became happy hearing this, and other painters became curious. King gave him the permission, and the painters started drawing the portrait. He finally filled everything with paints. After a long time, he said the portrait was ready. All, along with the painters, were curious and nervous, thinking, how can the painter make the king's portrait beautiful because the king is physically disabled? What if the king didn't like the painting and gets angry? But when he comes, everyone, including the king, left stunned. The painter made a portrait in which the king was sitting on the horse, on the one leg side, holding his bow, aiming arrow with his one eye closed. King was very pleased to see the painter has made a beautiful portrait by cleverly hiding the king's disabilities. King gave him a huge and a great reward. Okay, which of the following is true? Now this is a story based. You can answer without looking at the passage. King's portrait was never completed. It was completed. Painter cleverly hid the king's disabilities in his portrait. Yup, need not look at the others. Still, for slight confirmation, king was very angry. He wasn't. Courtiers were more interested. No, everybody was stunned when he was presented with the painting. Antonym of decline, refuse. And the antonym, okay, accept and something such. Straight answer. Reject, synonymous. Deteriorated, going in a bad condition. Worsen, in a bad condition. Aggravate and such. That was amazing. I did think of for some time before answering this. Which type of story does the passage represent? What's your answer? What's your answer? Fictional, non-fictional, fable, biography? And why? I did think of this. I took 73 seconds to answer this, although it deserves not more than 15 seconds. Avijit, welcome. And would love to see you in the classes tomorrow, the very next day onwards. We have the most curated sessions scheduled. Thanks a lot for being here, Avijit. Hey dear. Thank you. That's not a biography of a living person writing about a living person. No, that's not even a fable. You don't think of fable because fables are the animal stories. SSC is fond of asking this one word. Fables are the animal stories that show some moral values and such. I know this has some moral value. If one is disabled but still intelligent, he holds the position. But that is not based on animals and such. Story is all about a king, not the animal. So I don't think so. Maybe fictional, maybe non-fictional. How should I decide? I'm just representing what I thought. Okay, if it is non-fictional, that means not artificial, then there should be names, places clearly mentioned. Once upon a time, there was a king in the city of Mumbai, in a village of Mumbai, in a city of, say, Delhi and such. There should have been something specific, either the place in this central region, in this area, or some date back in the 17th century or some 15th century, there was a king and such. But you can see nothing such is marked here. No time, no area, no distinction. He was an heir to this and that. He was a successor. Nothing specific. Now I'll answer, and I was correct. This is a fictional story. Fake, artificial, not fake, I should say, but an artificial one. A created one. Okay. So why did the painters start making excuses? Because the king was disabled and they were not sure if the painting goes awry, the king is going to kill them and such. They were not interested. They were, but they were not sure. They feared. They feared. If the painting is not beautiful and the king shouts, what are we going to do? They believe they won't be rewarded. The king did say, one who draws will be rewarded. They thought king would not appreciate. No, nothing such mentioned in the passage. The king is not going to appreciate their painting and such. The proposal is being reviewed by the committee. Okay, a double passive was taught in today's class at 10. A double passive. Okay, the proposal is being reviewed by the committee. That means the committee is reviewing the proposal. Just one option. No past, no past indefinite, no going to mentioned over there. Need not look at the next option, next sentence. Answer. Just 9 seconds, the default time of mine. Describe how will you convey the company will construct the bridge in passive voice. Okay, the company will construct the bridge. The bridge will be constructed. No, no, no. Just one option with will mentioned in it. Oh, I took 10 seconds now. That was wrong. I will still say at a glance, if I'm there in examinations, I can answer this wrong because to me it is quite ambiguous. After looking at the answers, I got this wrong. Why? I can relate and say, yep, this is a better choice, but still I would say at a glance in examinations during limited time, the sentence is ambiguous. What's your thought, Avijit? With an ambitious agenda to reform the international climate financial architecture, the Prime Minister has become a powerful blank space for climate justice. Opponent, no, he's supporting that. And not only he, but also the others are doing the same. So no opponent, he's not criticizing, the theme is not negative. Now he's if you can think of this, fine. I got this. Honestly. Probably he's protesting for climate justice. He's protesting for climate justice. And I did click this. I went ahead. But later on, I wasn't sure. I'm still ambiguous if I don't look at the passage and look at the first filler only. I will still say protesting for. There's a cause of protest. So it's a better choice. But when we protest, just like the farmers protest and things like that, the theme goes negative. The passage is not negative, moving ahead. But this is not the only world leader rising to meet the profound challenges we are facing today. A new generation of leaders from global south making their voices. Kenyan president, for example, is giving a new path to the growth in Africa by taking advantage of this and that. The continent should supply the developed world with goods and services to accelerate this and that. Yes, I agree now. There is no tone of protest. He's probably supporting climate justice. Had it been climate change, you can't answer, advocate. He's not supporting climate change. He'll be protesting against that. But yes, you can say, just a sec. But yes, you can say that he was supporting justice. He'll be against climate change. So yes is a better choice. I got this wrong. Rest were easy in my opinion. A new generation of leaders from the global south are making their voices, of course, heard. They are making their voices, and what about voices? Either they will go unheard or they will go heard. The only possibility. Shun, but the theme is positive. Shun is to avoid. Heard, the only possibility. Neglected, ignored. Rest 3 are negative. So, the only choice there. Africa taking advantage of the abundant natural machines. Machines are not natural, techniques are not natural, weaknesses, the tone is not negative. Yes, we do have natural resources. And the fourth filler, the last line, it must be visible. In Latin America, the president has called for a new plan to finance global climate action after a decade of protectionism and fragmentation. These initiatives seek to build a global consensus around blank space, sorely needed reforms. So you need some global consensus around. The theme is once again positive. Why would I prohibit? Why would I limit? Why would I forbid, deny, enact the reforms? Making them strict, making them firm, making them established, the reforms for climate justice, the only positive option in the options. Okay, moving ahead. That was a different RC. I applied inference and I got wrong. But most had not been shipped, he said, before suggesting it could be deliberate. Need not think about the filler. You have to mark the synonym of the word suggest. You better know what suggest is. Advise in something such. Pull. Had it been push, could have been the possibility. Pull is not going to be a synonym of suggest. Welcome is not suggest. Oppose is not going to be suggest. I request, please go there. I urge you. I request you to be there. I suggest you be there and such. So the only option left. No, welcome is something which comes to us. Oh, warm welcome from my side. Hello, Sandeep. Welcome. You are coming. I'm not suggesting. This has this impact and that has that impact. Come in and forward. Immigrant and emigrant, you can say. That was something I got wrong. For sure, I should have got this wrong in examination also. The new policy encourages a proactive mindset among employees. I thought proactive, reactive, they should be the synonyms. Didn't even think about them. Yes, felicitate and facilitate. Preventive, indifferent, passive. Obviously, passive should not be there. Later on, when I got this wrong, I realized, and everybody here watching it live or watching it later, no, passive is a negative one. No. When I say I got this wrong, I'm not defining myself. Don't judge me. We are not here to look at your score. We are here for the mock test and such. No, I don't say that. I do not behave as a teacher. I behave as a student. And the same way I appear in these mock tests as a student. If I got that wrong, a student can get that wrong. If I got that fine, a student can get that fine this way. So don't think about I am saying things about myself. I have a call from Oliveboard. Just 5 seconds. Sir, I'm live. Yes, sir, I'm live in a class. See, so this is active, that is also active, this is proactive, this is reactive. Both words differ not a little, but a lot. Let me explain them as a teacher now. I got that wrong as a student, explaining as a teacher. Active is of course going to be active. Synonym, passive can't be the synonym. But sometimes we get active before things have happened. Sometimes we get active after things have happened. I won't explain. You will mark me now. I repeat, the theme is both the words are the same, but they are different actually. Sometimes we act before things have or things are going to happen. Sometimes we act after things have happened. If I'm going on a vacation, where Shimla, for example, then I should be, I don't know which one to pick. I should be something such that it'll be so cold out there. I should bring warm clothes and such. I'll be thinking all these things before. But for example, I went to Goa and my mobile phone went inside the ocean, the sea there. I don't have a mobile phone. Now what should I do? I can't think of this before. I'll be taking actions, measures after it has happened. Can you mark me which one is to happen before, which one is to happen after? Let me hint you. You have epilogue, you have prologue, you have pronoun and words like that. Quick, people watching it live. You will act for sure, but before that or after that? Which one is proactive? Come in before or come in after? Thank you. We should be correct now. We should be correct now. So pronoun. And the same, you have made me a little confused, I'm sorry. If I go wrong, no problem. We are learning here. Okay, nobody's perfect. Proactive, I think, should be taking measures before, and reactive should be taking measures after that it has happened. Yes, we will check this. 99% I'm sure. If I'm wrong, no problem. And this is preventive, taking measures before that. So the answer is going to be preventive, taking measures before that. We can't be indifferent because we have to pay attention. We can't be passive. We have to take actions. Now let's see which one is what. Proactive, taking initiative and anticipating future. We are perfect. Yes, brother. Proactive, prologue, epilogue, quite easy. Epilogue, words addressed after the end of the drama. Okay, in today's function, we witnessed this, and several other performances. We have seen them. That's the epilogue, after the conclusion of a drama. Prologue, okay, welcome everybody. In today's session, we are going to witness this, and that, and many things such. It will be happening after my speech, at the introduction, at the end of a drama and such. So of course we are correct. Do remember these now. Proactive, taking actions before. Reactive, taking actions after that, responding to events or problems after they happen. I hope you'll remember this. Yes, prevention is better than cure. Yes, it defines the same. So that was a good one, considering my mistake. Too much inference can be lethal for you in SSC examinations. No problem. There's another one. Procrastination is a widespread behavior that often perplexes both individuals and those around them. Despite the intention to act, many people delay important tasks, even when they know that procrastination leads to negative consequences. Root causes of procrastination are complex and rooted in psychological factors like fear of failure, perfectionism, lack of motivation. One of the most symbolic contributors to procrastination is the fear of failure. When faced with a challenging task, individuals may become paralyzed by the possibility of not succeeding, leading them to delay starting. This fear often comes from an internalized pressure to perform at a high standard where the stakes feel incredibly high. In this context, it serves as a defense mechanism. If the task is never started, completed, failure can be avoided. Read this line again yourself. If we think we'll fail in this, and the task is never started or completed, I won't be filling the form of examination, I'm not sure I'll be succeeding in. Failure can be avoided. I think I have avoided, but not actually I have avoided. I have made it certain. Now I can never qualify that examination of which I haven't filled the form, at least in the short term. I hope you can feel these lines. Impressive. Unfortunately, this avoidance only perpetuates feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, reinforcing the cycle of procrastination. What about the next year? Next year, the same form will come up and I'll have to skip it again and again and again. Another root cause is perfectionism. People who struggle with perfectionism fear their output won't meet their own or the others' expectations. This desire for flawless performance can lead to paralysis. Pressure to achieve perfection causes them to delay beginning of a project altogether. Comes a way of coping with the anxiety that comes with these unrealistic standards. Additionally, procrastination can reveal a lack of intrinsic motivation or a lack of emotional engagement. Additionally, it can reveal a lack of intrinsic motivation or a lack of emotional engagement with the task at hand. Some people here, remember, they were there in the evening classes. This is not the only problem at hand. If you remember the meaning of at hand, under discussion, problems at hand. So if a person does not find the task meaningful, enjoyable, they may procrastinate as a way to avoid discomfort or being bored. In this sense, it can be a signal that the person needs to reevaluate their goals or find ways to make the task more engaging. It is not merely a matter of poor time management. It shows deeper psychological issues related to fear, self-doubt, lack of motivation. Understanding all these causes can help individuals address procrastination by adopting healthier mindsets and more effective coping strategies. Okay. What does procrastination serve for individuals with perfectionism? I looked at this. Another root cause is perfectionism. People who struggle Fear that their output won't do this. This desire for flawless performance can lead to the paralysis, where the pressure to achieve perfection causes them to delay beginning of a project altogether. So I clicked, it allows them to take a break because they are now delaying their project altogether. But the answer was something different. It can't speed it up because that is procrastination. You are not even performing. How can it speed it up? Impossible. It motivates them to embrace less than perfect outcomes. No, they are not doing that because they fear their output is not going to be up to their expectations or the others' expectations. Impossible. I thought the first one should be fine, but it helps them manage the anxiety associated with the fear of not being flawless. Straight RCs kill your inference. I wasn't wrong that way, but I'm wrong here because it is marked directly. Procrastination becomes a way of coping with the anxiety which comes with these unrealistic standards. I can't be flawless. I have to be flawless. I can't be having flaws and such. So, yeah, that is since marked directly has to be the answer. My inference wasn't that wrong. No problem. The next also. Which of the following is identified as a reason for delaying a task when it feels uninteresting or uninspiring? What's your answer? What's your answer? What do you think is the reason for delaying tasks when you feel uninteresting or uninspiring? Lack of skills, fear of failure, lack of intrinsic motivation, fear of judgment. Quick. Manjula, how can you be so high? Vidhi, great. I did this because throughout the passage, I noticed they are talking about the fear of failure. Fear of failure. Fear of failure. And every single line is defining this. But that is also marked straight if I'm not wrong. Which is that? Which of the following is marked as the reason for delaying a task when it feels uninteresting or uninspiring? You can infer fear of failure is not marked here, but I think somewhat such marked here. Additionally, you can infer from these 3 to 4 lines, procrastination can reveal a lack of motivation or a lack of emotional engagement with the task at hand, which is under consideration now. And if a person doesn't find the task meaningful, enjoyable, uninteresting, uninspiring, the task that is marked straight, so that was wrong, then he may skip it. So that was because of the lack of engagement or the lack of motivation, and that too the intrinsic motivation they have marked. So yep, that's a better choice. That is a better choice. Next, the title of the passage. I did think about this. The psychological roots of procrastination, okay? A time management issue. No, they are not talking about time management. How to overcome procrastination? No, they've been highlighting the problems with this. In just a couple of lines, they have marked how to overcome this. But that's the solution, not the emphasis of the passage. The fear of success is not the key highlight. But all through the passage, they have marked not the word itself, probably the word itself, but they have marked the root causes of procrastination in this, in that, and that. Failure, first of all, they have defined it. Perfectionism, they have defined this. And the third paragraph, not the third actually, but the second one, the rest half of that, the latter half of that is talking about the lack of motivation. So yep, that's a better choice. That They have discussed the root causes of procrastination. They are the fear of failure, this, then perfectionism, the second paragraph, and the lack of motivation, which we quite recently answered, the third one. So here, the root causes of procrastination should be the answer. You have to mark the antonym. Perpetuate, something which goes on for a long, long time. The antonym of that. Bolster is support, synonym. Sustain is to maintain, synonym. Commemorate, keep something for a long, long time in your memories. Halt is the only word which defines something to stop. Perpetuate, go on, stop, the antonyms. Rest are easy. Incorrectly spelled. Announcement, all fine. Guarantee, all fine. Hold on, that's the pronunciation that we say. Environment, no, but that's environment. N is also there in between. Sympathetic is all fine. Parajumpers. Patients can now monitor their health and consult specialists without needing to travel. How? How can patients monitor their health now? There should be some sentence. Technological advancements have made healthcare more accessible, I think because of this, particularly through telemedicine, wearable health devices. Particularly through this, I think they can now monitor their health remotely and consult without needing to travel. BA, anywhere here. But I won't click this way. I'll check and have a look again throughout the passage. CD. Now, despite these benefits, both sentences are positive. Despite these benefits, there should be some problems, I think. Affordability, data security remain challenges in implementing them. If I'm correct, the fourth sentence should follow this particular one. If not, I'm wrong. Improving healthcare systems globally can be achieved only if governments and private sectors work together to address these barriers. Of course, these are the barriers. For sure, I am correct. Another one. That was an interesting one. I took a lot of time for this. 300 seconds, my goodness. Can't have this in examinations. No. Enhancing communication skills requires practice and a willingness to adapt to different contexts and audiences. Active listening and empathy play a significant role in understanding others' perspectives. Effective communication is vital for fostering strong relationships in personal and professional settings. Miscommunication leads to conflicts, emphasizing the need for clear and concise exchanges of ideas. Sandeep, which should be the answer? People saying A, C. Let me help you. This is the answer given by you, not mine. I got this right. This is the answer marked by you. Although I took 300 seconds, but I got this correct. Now think about this. The only keyword I was able to find is C and B. Avijit, absolutely, brother. C and B, not only talking about your own communication skills and stuff like that, also discussing what about the others' perspectives in a business, in some other environment and such. Feel them. Effective communication is important for fostering strong relationships in personal, professional settings. Effective communication, important. Fostering strong relations in personal, professional settings. Active listening, empathy, feeling what one is saying, play a significant role in understanding others' perspectives and building trust. That's how we can make relationships. Personal settings, professional settings. The only choice I thought of, C, B, and that too at the beginning, no problem. And that's the answer. Otherwise, that was impossible, honestly. No straight keywords. Tourism contributes to the economy by generating employment and promoting cultural exchange. Can be the first one. Strict regulations must be enforced to minimize That was positive. How can that be negative? A, B not connected. Sustainable tourism practices must balance. That's once again negative. What has happened? The tone was positive. Tourism contributes to the economy by generating employment and promoting culture exchange. However, over tourism can harm. Okay, that's the negative tone. I can have a couple of negative. Need not think about them. A, D, leave them. A, D, leave them. Absolutely. That was a good one. This was a very good mock test, to be honest. Following a WhatsApp notification a day after he repaid the loan, he flicked on his screen. Mr. Reddy was shocked when. You can start with this, a conjunction requiring another sentence. And since somewhat new pattern, so they have given you the flexibility of starting with D, they themselves have defined. You can start with D. Hobson's choice. Starting with D. He was shocked when. I will start a new sentence. Following is not the subject. After is not the subject. He is the subject. I'll start with D and then C. DC, but a couple of options have DC now. What should I do now? Okay. Can I say this is a precise link? Just one day after he repaid the loan. Think about this. Just one day after he repaid the loan. Now it should be D, then C, and then A, and then B. So DC, AB is the answer. One day after he repaid his loan. One day after he repaid his loan, because you can't end at A. He was shocked when he flicked on his screen after he repaid the loan following a WhatsApp notification a day. What does that mean? Yes, you can say Mr. Reddy was shocked when he flicked on his screen following a WhatsApp notification. Obviously, you got a notification, you will check your screen, and just after a day, he repaid the loan. Best. Preposition. Most people approve of the new scheme. Yep, that's the correct preposition. Approve in? No. Approve on? No. Approve with? No. Under the weather. I'm suffering from cold these days because what has happened? Actually, the environment has changed, the weather has changed, and I'm feeling under the weather. I have the influence of the weather, feeling sick and such. He felt under the weather until he got sunburned. How would somebody get a cold if he gets sunburned? No. She felt under the weather when she caught a cold. The best choice. Need not think about the others. He felt under the weather, he got ill, when she forgot her keys. She forgot her keys and she got ill. No. He felt under the weather by not walking in the rain. Not walking in the rain, how can he get ill? By next month, the company will have introduced typical SSC. Have takes a third form. Introduced. I and her, impossible. As a subject, her cannot be the subjective case. She and I should be the best case. 2, 3, 1, Yashwanti. And that too, a subjective case must be here. Not I and her. It should be I and she first, and then she and I. Superior, inferior, posterior, anterior, prefer, prior, elder. Okay, senior, junior, superior, inferior, posterior, anterior, prefer, prior, and elder. They take a 2 after them. But a couple of options have 2. A couple of options have 2. Now I'll be thinking about the verb. He described him or the attire as superior to that. Describe as is possible. Regard as is possible and of course is correct. Consider as is not correct. A is not the answer. No. I was saying describe as. Both the options have superior to, superior to. You'll have to think again. Described as. She must reconcile I keep on teaching this. Remember those words which take a reflexive pronoun after them. Enjoy, overeat, pride as a verb. He prides himself upon his patriotism. Exert, apply, reconcile in the same list. Avail yourself of every chance and opportunity. So she must reconcile herself. Done. Just by at a glance. You can also answer this as per the options, because models take V1. This is impossible, impossible, impossible. Just one sentence with V1. But I suggest you remember the whole clause. It takes a reflexive pronoun after this. Misspelled, need not look at the sentences. Children, the spelling is all correct, cannot be the answer. Joyfully, it is, of course, double L. So that should be wrong. Interrupt is wrong. Project is wrong, but not letter. That is not wrong. No. Joyfully interrupted, project, and heartfelt, F-E-L-T. That should be the answer. What about the fourth? Children, all correct? All correct. 3 more to go. The team will complete the project by next week. The project will be completed by next week by the team. Was, no. Has, no. Is, no. Just one option in future. I took 7 seconds. Thala for a reason. Having or seeming to have unlimited knowledge. The root word science, I'm talking about the root word, not the English word science, shows knowledge or to know as a verb. And unlimited knowledge, knowing everything. This root word omni shows all. Omniscient is the one who has all knowledge, knows all. Hedonist is the one who seeks pleasure and thinks of gaining pleasure is the only important thing in life. Hedonist, part of SSC's one words. Omniscient, throng, when people gather in large amounts during festivals. So during festivals, shops are thronged with men, women, children, everything such. So no, answer is omniscient. The third word I got new today is this, I don't know the pronunciation, legerdemain or whatever it is. It is actually skillful use of one's hands when performing conjuring tricks. Remember this, Legerdemain. That was new to me. And the last one, we finish things off. She told her team that the marketing strategy had been revised. Okay, had been revised is enough for me. Having, no ing there. Strategy, have, grammatically impossible. Ing, no ing there. Just one option in present perfect tense. While transforming that in indirect narration will be past perfect. That's all I had. I hope that was an interesting session for all of you. Would love to see you in the classes. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. I take my classes every single day at 5 in the evening at the app. You are welcome. We have a foundation batch 3.0 started yesterday. Would love to see you in that also. And of course at 6 p.m. at 6 p.m. we have a class tomorrow. It's Wednesday. Would love to see you here tomorrow in the evening at the same time, 6 p.m. here. And then Thursday onwards, we have classes in the tier 2 batches of SSC CGL. And pretty soon we have something interesting for you. We'll notify. Thank you so much. Muskan, great. Radhe Radhe. Thank you so much. Kajal, Sandeep, Komesh, Radhika, Isha, Komesh, Pradeep. God bless you, brother. Yashwanti, Radhe Radhe. Manjula, thank you so much. Wrinkle, and all of you here. Gaming Master, Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Vishali, Radhe Radhe. Okay, so see you tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. here on YouTube. Thank you. Avijit.